I have no pants, and this is only a minor exaggeration. I have jeans, I have trousers, but I have no shorts, no flowy, comfy pants to take me into the summer months, which brings us to today's video, which is Sewing My Pinterest Board, Episode 1, Pants Edition. Upon reviewing my Pinterest board for summer 2025, the vibes are chic, effortless, minimal, classic. These are the words that I want my wardrobe to emulate for summer. I want to be able to open my wardrobe, have a bunch of different pants that I can pair with, all my tops and all of my other outfits and, not have to think very hard to look really good. You know what I'm saying? Lately, I've been really drawn to this style of tailored pleated pants. I feel like the length and the pleats really give it this elevated, high-class look, which I'm really drawn to. It's giving my daddy owns a yacht, or maybe even my sugar daddy owns a yacht. Either of those is fine. I've actually been trying to draft my own pleated short pattern for a really long time, but I feel like the more I work on it, it goes from bad to worse. There's so many things you have to take into consideration with drafting pants, and it's just a little bit beyond my reach, unfortunately, right now. So I have found a pattern for these, which I'm excited to talk about in a minute. I think if I make these shorts in a couple of neutral tones, it's going to give me a really good foundation for my wardrobe. Another style of pant that I think you can't go wrong with are the comfy, flowy summer trousers. You usually see these with an elastic band. They're usually made in linen or cotton. I definitely want to incorporate a pair of these into my wardrobe this summer. I think these are going to be a must for if I'm lounging at home with my bambinos, or if I have to go out and run errands. I think they're just going to be easy to wear, easy to look good. I'm really trying to romanticize my life at the moment and step out of my comfort zone a little bit. I pin all of these outfits and all of these ideas, but I never really bring them into actuality until now. I'm about to turn 28, 2 years of 30, eek! And I'm really starting to reevaluate how I present myself. I've always been short. I've always been someone who's presented a little bit younger than I actually am, which is fine. I'm not complaining. It's definitely got its perks. But in saying that, I do want to be taken a little bit more seriously, mainly by myself. And I think the fastest, easiest way to do that is by, through our fashion choices. And yes, I do believe that outfits and clothing is that deep. As much and all as I love being someone that comes across as youthful and playful and all of that kind of thing, I'm about to head into my late 20s. I am a mum of 2, and I feel like matrescence, it's matured me, And I feel like it's time that I mature my wardrobe a little bit to be a bit more in line with what I actually am feeling like on the inside. Basically, what I'm saying is I want my wardrobe to outwardly express how I'm feeling inside. And on the inside, I'm feeling like I want to be chic, minimal, effortless, classic. There are those 4 words again. The plan is to create 3 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of shorts, 1 pair of those comfy trousers. I struggle buying pants in store, as I feel like most people do. And so I was a little bit apprehensive when it came to choosing a sewing pattern for these projects. But I have chosen the Kiana Bonollo wide leg pleated short for my short projects. I trust her patterns. I bought so many of them, albeit dress patterns, but they're always tried and true to size, and her instructions are always really great. So I'm feeling confident in that choice. And then making her debut into my pattern stash for the first time is Sydney Graham with the Lane Pants pattern. Slightly got high expectations. I'm really excited to make them, and I'm excited to make the drawstring elastic waistband because I've never done that before. So I'm going to make the shorts in black cotton and then also in this creamy sandy colored chalet. Chalet is a natural fiber from Turkey, and it kind of has a similar vibe to linen or muslin, or if the two are mixed together. I've already printed and pieced together the Lane Pan pattern as well as the Kiana Bonollo shorts. The Lane Pants pattern took up so much paper, but I saved the scraps for my kids to draw on, so that's a dub. I am slightly apprehensive because I always use a curve waistband whenever I make any tailored shorts. I've spoken about that on my channel a few times because it hugs the body better, I feel, because it's slightly on the bias. It sort of gives a bit of like to your waistband. But when I was cutting out the short pattern by Kiana, it's got a straight waistband. So I was a little bit like, ooh, but like I said, she's very talented. The pattern had great reviews. So I'm just going to make it as is with these shorts. And then if I need to redo the waistband, like next time I make it, I can add a curved waistband to it. But I'm just going to trust the process. And this is me calling myself out now. I'm going to actually read the patterns as I go. I'm at a point where I feel like I can just kind of make stuff without looking at patterns because I draft so much of my patterns myself, which I can if I've drafted them myself. But I need to actually make sure I read the patterns this time because I want to learn some new techniques. I really want to take my sewing to the next level. And I feel like the only way I can do that is actually reading the instructions that I've bought. I'm going to make the shorts first because obviously they're in black. So I'm going to make them in black first and then make them in the cream and then make the lane pants, or I'll go like short lane pants short if I get bored. So I just need to rethread my machine. Okay. Do I have a black bobbin anywhere? Yes. You know what I always forget to do? I always forget to do extra bobbins at the beginning of my project. I feel like I'm still not entirely sure how many bobbins a project will do. But this will be a first of me having a spare bobbin because that one's only got a little bit left. I'm definitely going to need another one. I have white overlocking thread in my overlocker. I've tried to put this black thread through my overlocker and it just ended up snapping a bajillion times. So I'm just going to keep it as white. Not ideal, but I'd rather it be white than be constantly dealing with snapping threads. So the next thing I have to do, I have to read the pattern. Can get my laptop. Loops. Okay, yeah, this seems pretty straightforward. I have also watched the video that she has for this as well. I just realized though, I haven't cut out the belt loops and I feel like I haven't notched all of the notches on the pattern. So the pattern pieces are currently pinned to the cream fabric because I cut that out last. So I'll just have to go grab the pattern pieces and notch all places where it's notched. I always forget to do that. That there. Oh, and can't forget, put my tag into these projects. I keep forgetting to do it. Okay. So that's the front. So I'll just put that there. I'm going to use my tracing wheel and self-healing mats to trace out the darts for the back. I always like to pin my darts in the way that I'm going to sew in the machine because it makes it easier to pull out the pins, but also I like to sew from the top to the point because I will backstitch at the top, but I'll sew straight through the point and tie the point off so that it's not bulky. If you backstitch down here at the point, you give the dart too much bulk and it looks kind of weird. One dart pinned. I need to get a lint roller. Look how much dust these are picking up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got to pin the pleats now. And she's got the pins going towards the fly, I think. Yeah, so, oh no, hold on. They're going away from the fly. So amazing. All right. So I guess it's like the same as a dart, but without, oh my gosh, my posture. This is one good thing about like filming myself sewing. I can tell when my posture is turning me into a human question mark. I've been really feeling it in my shoulders lately. So I need to try and fix my posture when I'm sewing. Yeah, that looks right to me. Also, are these gonna be too sheer? I'll sew one and see how it looks before I sew the other one. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna sew the darts first and then sew the pleats. Hot tip, make sure you clip your threads at the end of every seam, or after you sew every seam. I am trying to be like new me and not put all of my little threads on the floor. I'm trying to like make a pile of them, because usually I'm like, oh, those threads have just fallen to the ether, but I'm trying to be good so I don't have as much mess to clean up later. Another thing I like to do when I've sewn darts is just to make sure that they're even before I continue. And look at that, they are great. Okay, I'll have to press them, but I'll take all of this over to the ironing board at once. Ooh, cute, look at that. Cute pleats. Yeah, this is really thin fabric. Okay, I'm a little stressed about that actually. I'm actually thinking it was a smart idea too to do the black first, because if I make any mistakes or any like small errors, at least I can get that out of the way and it's done on the black fabric where it won't be like so obvious. Whereas I feel like if you make mistakes on lighter fabrics, it's a little more obvious. Are these even though? That is the question. Yeah, they are. I'm gonna make a mark on one side of each, so I know that that's the wrong side. So that's the wrong side, and then that way I know which side's the right side. Okay, cool. I'm going to need to interface the fly facings and the fly shield. I'm going to need to interface the waistband, I think, as well. And I'm going to need to interface the belt loops, potentially. So the fly shield, yep. Okay, so my camera died and my overlocker was being a nuisance, but I rethreaded my overlocker and I've overlocked my fly shield and my fly facing. Here, it looks a little dodge with the white overlocker thread, but it's just not worth changing it out at this point. I overlocked the front rise seam as well. So we're pretty much ready to put in the fly. So let's do that. I haven't had any hiccups like this when sewing for such a long time, but I was like, I've sewn the pant to the fly facing, like it's like caught in there. It's so annoying. I have to unpick that. Where? I don't know what happened there. I'm not making a mistake like that in a really long time, but I've fixed it and it's all good now. So I have to go and top stitch this part down and cover all of the white stuff, and then that is pretty much the front panel done. Yay! Okay, so I have done the pocket attaching and gone and pressed them for the back panel, and now I basically have to do the exact same for the front panel, so attach the pockets at the front. So I'm gonna go do that now. I don't even know if my head is in the shot, but we're at the point where we're trying on and they fit my hips and they fit my waist, but I don't know, I'm not sure. I'm hoping once the waistband is in and there's a bit more like upwards pressure, that the pockets sit a little bit nicer. I don't know if it's something I've done or what, but the pockets just aren't that like flattering. I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. They're not going to be this long. I think she's put a 2-inch hem on them, so they'll be more like, which is a little bit nicer. I think once they're hemmed and the waistband is on, I think having that will definitely help. But at first I put them on and I was like, because this is my first time making them. I want to make it exactly how it is. But once they're like the right length, I think they'll be good. Always good to try on, see if you need to make adjustments. Yeah, hopefully once it's like got some more tension where it needs it, she'll be right. Okay, so it took me a couple of days. I've finished the first pair of pants, and do I like them? Yes, I do. I do really like them. I know that I'm going to get a lot of wear out of them, and they'll go with a lot of stuff in my wardrobe. Do I love them? I don't know. There's something about the fit. I think it might be the pockets. I don't know if I have put them in properly or like I think the pockets just make it look a little bit weird. When I make these again in the cream colored fabric, like that beige fabric, I might make them without pockets and just see if that changes anything. Apart from that, I really like them. I like the length, I like the pleats. The only thing I also may change is I have a pretty short torso, so there's like a little bit of like folding in the waistband, so I might just maybe remove like a 1/2 inch from the top of the short, especially in the back. But apart from that, I'm really happy with them. They weren't a difficult make. I think I only put 5 belt loops in instead of 6, so I'll make sure I put 6 in the next pair. All things considered, very easy to make. Easy pattern to follow. I do like the fit. I know I'm going to wear them a lot. I don't love the fit. Like, they're not perfect. I'd say they're like 95% perfect. I just would probably tweak a few things. I feel like this is like a wearable toile. Like, it's the first time I've made the pattern. It's a prototype. I know what I need to do to potentially change it for my body. So I'm pretty impressed with how they turned out for the first time. Like, they fit really well at the waist and really well at the hips. I might just change a few things. I think to give my life some variety and spice, I will make the lane pants next and then make the shorts again as the final project. So let's get into project number 2. Okay, so I made a promise to myself that I would read the patterns for these ones as I go because it's my first time making them. So I'm just pulling up the pattern for the lane pants. There's a lot. It's a big document. Wow. I did see that there's like lots of different options. You can go waistband with no drawstring, waistband with drawstring, cargo shorts, or like cargo pockets. I'm not doing that. Let's scroll down. Okay, so I have cut out the drawstring, the waistband, the back and front, and the pocket bag. Like, then I'm not doing the other stuff. I'm not going to adjust the rise or anything like that because there's no point. Like, it's the first time making it. Okay, so materials. Thread, 1.5 inch wide elastic. I think I've only got 1 inch wide elastic. Will this be a problem? I don't know. I really want to make these today. I don't want to have to go and buy fabric. Okay. Instructions. Fold the pocket bag in half with the wrong sides facing each other. Sew a straight stitch at the bottom edge. Flip the pocket bag around. Right side together. Press and sew straight stitch. Okay. So do the pocket bags first. Attach the pocket bags. We unstitch and press the pocket bags. Fold the pocket bags over. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm just gonna go through each step and hopefully you do it properly. Wish me luck. So I can feel even now, just like pinning the pocket bags, that this fabric actually has like some stretch to it, which makes sense because it's kind of like a muslin. Yeah, I gotta be quite gentle with it. So I'm folding and pinning the pocket bags. I'm gonna do this, and then I realized that I actually have to thread my machine. Okay, so she has us doing a French seam on our pockets, which I really like. I think that's a really cute sign of a good pattern. We love a French seam. Great way to finish your seams if you don't have an overlocker. Sometimes I wonder how I managed to get this far in my sewing journey, because when I read instructions, I just feel like I'm not reading anything, and it makes no sense to me. Like, I was reading that and I was like, I only see words on the page, but now I understand what she was saying. I feel like I have to read them like 3 times before they actually make sense. So the fact that I can make a dress from scratch is kind of like, how does that happen when I can't read instructions properly? Anyway, next step is to attach the pocket bag. Okay, let me get my front pants. All right, I'm gonna pin these. My only concern with these pants is I think my fabric choice, because this is really sheer and I feel like this is now a double layer with the pocket, and it's now gonna be triple layer, and I'm afraid when I wear it, you're gonna see the pockets, and that is gonna flip in there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We're just gonna see. I'm gonna stitch this up now. So I've basted in the pocket bag to the pant front. Also, forgive my incredibly dirty ironing board. This is just like a burn stain from this. It looks like blood. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna cover that up. So I've basted that in. Now I need to attach the front pant to the back pants, which is not usually how I do things. Usually, if I'm making pants, I would attach these 2 front pieces together at the crotch seam, but we're doing the side seams first, which is very different to what I usually do, but I am intrigued. So I've realized that we're doing the side seam first instead of the crotch seam, so we can sew, serge, press, and then do a top stitch. And if you were adding the cargo pockets, that's when you would do them like across that side seam with it laid out flat. I'm not doing the cargo pockets, but like, at least I understand the method and the madness now. It's a bit like, why are we doing it this way? But all makes sense. There's something so satisfying about overlocking your seams. Okay, so now comes the attaching of the crotch seam. So I've got the pieces laid right sides together. So this is the fronts, this is the backs. They're sewn in the middle. And basically we want to line everything up, pin and sew, pin and sew. And this is why I love sewing, because I just learned a new technique. Usually I would just sew up my inseam and leave it, but she's done a double. Well, I've done. Sydney's taught me to do a double. So I basically start at the hem, come pivot, and then go all the way back down. And I honestly wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it, but I did it. So I'm going to go do it on the other side now. So I've pinned up the waistband matching the drawstring pull buttonholes to like the middle, centering the middle seam to them. I've pinned it all up. So basically what I need to do is sew all the way around. These 2 pink pins are like my marker for my gap. Sew all the way around, insert my elastic, which I need to cut to my waist measurement, insert that. So let's do it. So I have attached the waistband pretty much all the way around, and I'm now getting to the point where I can insert the elastic, but I didn't actually have any 1.5 inch elastic. I only had 1-inch elastic, but I had a pair of elastic shorts that I didn't wear anymore that were really dodgy and stained, and they had 2-inch elastic in them, and I cut down by 1/2 inch and then overlocked. So look at me being thrifty. I'm gonna give this a really good press and make sure it's all flat and ready to go, and then cut it down to my waist measurement, and then insert it into the pants. Okay, I didn't film myself hemming them or finishing the drawstring, but here are the finished pants. I love them. They are so comfortable. They feel very elevated. I think the length and the color does a good job. And they're not as tacky as I thought they would be with them being so sheer, but they are very sheer. So I'll need the right color underwear. They're very comfortable. I can dance in them. Now I'm going to address the elephant in the room. I didn't end up making the third pair of shorts in the same fabric because it was just going to be too sheer. So I will make that pair of shorts again, but I didn't end up making them in this video because, yeah, this fabric was just not the right kind of fabric for that style. I'm going to have to back it with a much sort of thicker, heavyweight cotton to give it more structure, but also so that it's not see-through. Don't forget to like this video, comment what you'd like to see next, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.